So, how did I manage to bill one single client for the agency $12,320.53 for a single month? So, that's what I'm going to run through in this video. If you are a freelancer or agency owner, the best way to go about getting these high value clients who can pay you this sums of money for just 1 month's work. And the thing is, when I started out, I was charging clients $500, $750. I think my first ever like funnel build where I built someone like a webinar funnel, I think it was like they paid me like $100 and something like that. But the thing is, like, the difference between the work I did for those clients that were like $500 to $1,000, there was no difference between those clients and this client that paid me $12K. As in, the client were different, but the work I did was exactly the same. So it's all about how do you find the high value clients? Where are they? What do they do? And what service do you provide for them? And that's exactly what I'm going to show you through in this video. So there's actually 3 steps to what I suggest in terms of how we actually go about this. So if we actually just do this, you'll be able to see it. I'm going to do none. Step 1, target businesses with large social following. So this is the ultimate leverage. And this is what I really wish I did in the very beginning. So in like 2019, I was already running ads for a long time for different businesses. And I went out to start and get my first ever proper client, right? Before that, I was doing affiliate marketing stuff. I worked full time for a coach and I was like his marketer. So I went out into the world and started trying to sign clients. And I started going for like the low hanging fruit, which was like people on Upwork who were looking for clients, people just like in my network who were looking for someone to, run ads for them. But all of these businesses were like low value in terms of like they were just starting out and, they had never sold anything online before. Maybe they've had a few personal clients one-on-one, but this is the first time they were doing like advertising online. And it just meant that they didn't have a lot of money already in the bank. So they couldn't pay me a high retainer. So I had to charge low prices, hence why I was charging like $500. But then also because they lacked that experience and they lacked having a business, like there was, even if I charged, a profit share retainer, it still wasn't as high as if I'd worked with some of the bigger clients. And I'd wish in the beginning back then, I would have just gone straight for the bigger clients. And it's only since I came to the realization, bought some courses, went into some masterminds, and they were like, dude, just go after the big people in the space, people with large followings, because these people still need advertising services. And it just gives you like huge amounts of leverage. And that's the thing. It like gets you better results. It's easier. And these people still need it. So basically just think about it, right? Usually like if you're gonna do an ad to like a cold audience, right? And then you send them through basically a funnel, and then you're going to try and convert them, right? Now, obviously the hardest part about advertising is marketing to a cold audience. But if this person has already got like a big following on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, like in the beginning, when you're first getting started, just leverage that. Let's see if I can get a bigger marker here. Maybe not. You can just leverage that and drive traffic to the funnel that way and start making money. Like this is the easiest thing to do, is to just do it like this. And in the beginning, it allows you to get like incredible results because you're marketing to a warm audience who's already heard of them before. And it just makes you more money. So like, and they're impressed. They want to work with you further because a lot of these guys who have a big following, I assumed in the beginning that, they must have a marketing team. They already work with like the big agency. Most of them fucking don't. A lot of the people with large social followings aren't actually very good at ads. They don't have a team who are running the ads for them. They might have team members, but usually they are a team member that was a follower of theirs. and they've basically hired them to help them with some marketing stuff. Maybe they get them to like do some customer support. Maybe they get them to like build some sales pages, write some emails for them. But these aren't skilled media buyers. They aren't skilled advertisers. And a lot of them just like, don't do very, like they try ads and they just flop. And then a lot of these big people with like millions of followers on YouTube, like a lot of our clients have huge social followings on YouTube, but some of them on Instagram as well. Like most of them just haven't ever had ads work. And because they have a large following online, they don't necessarily need ads to work. So they've never really like put it as a focus. So there's a huge market for people with a large following. People who don't have a large following, they are trying to actively do ads, right? And a lot of them are already working with other people, or they've tried to hire a team to do it for them, But like people who have a large social following actually, for the most part, never have someone running their ads. So it's actually really lucrative to go after these guys, and it's piss easy to get them results because you can start with remarketing, you can get some data, get the pixel seasoned, and you just look like a magician when easily it's actually the easiest thing in the world. So that's step number one, target businesses with a large social following. Number two is niche down, and I've put in brackets here, positioning. So if you want, because the question now is, all right, Sam, well, if I want to go after these people who've got a large following, like how do I get them? Right. Now we've worked with people with huge social media followings. Like I said, like some of our clients have millions of subscribers on YouTube, like 500K to millions of subscribers on Instagram or followers on Instagram. It's like, okay, Sam, so how do we get it? And I know like, start off with a niche isn't exactly like a breakthrough realization for me to present on this video. But it's not like just niche because of your specialty. It's the niche because the only way these guys are going to trust you with their business and their ad spend is by feeling like you are an expert. So what I did, I picked one particular niche and I focused in on that niche, and I only signed clients in that niche. And it meant when I actually approached these guys in the end, I was the authority. They'd recognized at least some of the names that I'd worked with, or they'd seen that they were in a very similar space. So for me, just transparency, it was like the law of attraction, spiritual coaching space. So I helped online spiritual coaches, people like who help with manifestation, meditation. And I went after all the big guys in that niche because I've already had some experience with that niche. So I just positioned myself as the expert for them. If I had gone to them, the spiritual law of attraction people, and I would have presented to them and said, hey, look, we've helped, Amazon FBA coaches, Shopify drop shippers. Like they would, like even if they were online coaches, they still wouldn't have come with me. The only way they hired me was because I had helped in their niche specifically. And I was the expert for law of attraction. I was the expert for spiritual coaches. I was the one person that could write good spiritual copy, right? So that's what you want to do. It's not good enough to just say, hi, help info products. I mean, you will get some people, but like I said, the only reason these big people even got on a call with me is because they saw that all of my case studies were around this niche. Now, some of the people who I'd worked with had small followings and they didn't recognize, but just the fact that they were spiritual coach, manifestation coach, at least like in the personal development space, it meant that they trusted me enough to hire me. And that's when I was able to earn the big fat commission. So you want to niche down and become an expert at that one particular niche. So like, again, it's not just good enough to be, I help info products. You need to pick a niche. I help Amazon FBA coaches. I help business opportunities. I help affiliate marketing coaches. I help law of attraction coaches. Whatever it is, pick a particular niche and go after that niche for like a year. You can work with smaller clients in the beginning, but at least then you've got a good case study stack of people in their niche, and then you go after the big guys because they're just not going to get on the phone with you if you haven't helped someone similar to them because they've got lots of different options, right? They have people hitting them up all the time. So that's step number 2. And step number 3 is profit split. So the only way I was able to charge this was because I signed a contract with them that said, hey, we're going to take a percentage of the profit that we make you, right? So this is the only really way you're going to be able to charge these types of prices and get these types of retainers. Because typically, for these guys, we can charge like 2K a month, right? And that's not that big. But then we can charge like 10% profit share. And this is where we make our money, right? We could have gone in and I could have just got like a flat 4K retainer. Maybe they would have signed with me, maybe not. Some of them might have seen that as expensive. But this way makes it a no-brainer because number one, the retainer is low, right? So 2K a month, okay, they can deal with that. They've got a large social following. They're already making money. Like, of course, they can deal with 2K a month. And then we plus a 10%. Now, this obviously in the sales call, it's like, oh shit, this guy obviously believes he's going to make me a load of money because he makes money if we make money. So it's a nice frame, right? It's like, okay, well, this guy obviously believes in himself. He obviously feels like he can knock it out of the park for me because he's put most of his income into a profit split. So again, it's just, like I said, a nice frame. And the thing with this one is like, okay, 4K, they might pay it for 1 or 2 months, but maybe someone comes along and someone offers to do it for 2K. And they're like, you know what? I don't really like paying 4K a month. I'm just going to go with a cheaper guy, right? So it's just a nice little frame. And like I said, that's the only way. So for this client in particular, we had a 10% profit split. And basically what it was, we did a big launch and we spent, I think it was 15K on registration ads. And then we spent around another 5K on like ads, like pushing them to the sales page. So we did like a big launch, like a 3-day launch. They sold the coaching program. We spent $15,000 on getting people to register for the launch. Then afterwards, and getting people to attend and like getting people to go ahead and go back to the sales page, we spent 5K. So in total, yep, you guessed it, good math here, it was 20K, right? We spent 20K in total. And we actually generated for them, I mean, it wasn't exactly 140, it was like, 140 something, but it was $140,000 in sales just from ads, not including the organic market. They did a much bigger number in their organic market. But just from the ads, and obviously when someone registers for the event, we tag them as like a paid ad lead. So if they buy, then we know they're obviously part of the paid ads revenue. So we made them 140K, which means obviously profit was 120, which meant 10% was about 12,000. It was obviously slightly bit more because you can see from the invoice that it was 12,320. So that's it. That's how we were able to get that type of money. I think if anyone is serious about, because the agency game, it's only fun if you get like big retainers, right? The agency game isn't fun if you're charging small retainers, because obviously like client work, it involves a lot of work. You've got to fulfill on it. You've got to deal with the clients. You're dealing with multiple clients at once. So the only way like I know like people long-term who survive in the agency game is, number one, if they've got a really automated service, God, that's such a bad way of saying automated, that if they can sign a client for $500 a month or $1,000 a month, and then they just plug them into a system, maybe they've got like a team that it's fully built out for them, so they don't deal with any hassles, they've got a process that's dialed in, they get good results, so they can afford to sign someone like for $500 to $1,000 a month, because it's kind of just like another number in the machine. So that's one way. But for advertising and sales funnels and dealing with online coaches, which is obviously my niche, is not that automated. Like, you can't really automate the process. It's pretty difficult to do. Everyone's pretty custom. So the only way I'm going to survive in this agency game, and the only way I have survived and I will continue to survive, is by charging high invoices, right? That's the only way this game is fun, is by having 12K. And look, I'm to be totally honest, this is the most I've ever charged someone. This plus the 2K retainer. So we charged them $14,320 and 53 cents in a month. Well, it's actually £1,500 retainer, so that's around $2,000. But anyway, the point is, We charge them 14K in 1 month. That's the most we've ever charged a client. So it's not like every single client we can bring on board, we're making, we continually make them this amount. But for me, like what a client, it's nice for us to charge a client between 5 to 10K. That's like the goal. Obviously, we want to make them as much money as possible, but if we can just make them 5 to 10K, it makes it very worth it to have a client that we build funnels for and we run advertising for. If we're charging like 1K, $500, even $1,500 a month flat, it's just not worth it for the cost or like the effort to running that client with the agency. So that's the step process, 3-step process to charging up to 12K. Number one, leverage people who already have big followings so you can get quick wins and you get results easier. Number two, you got to niche down. The only way you're going to sign these types of clients is by positioning yourself for the expert for the niche. And then number three, close the deal by making it a no-brainer, by charging a lower retainer. Don't be greedy up front, charge a profit split. And because they've got this, and because they've already got a business, you're going to get results pretty easily. And that means you can charge a 10% profit split and you can make them a shit ton of money. And then obviously charge them the retainer as well.